topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Austin, Texas. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. We have got a new expert for you this morning. We are waiting to come on the show. This is a great category. We get so many people writing us, asking us, how come you don't do a show on back pain? And look, if you've never gone through back pain, I'm going to tell you something. It is the worst experience ever. I have suffered from low back pain, and there's been mornings where I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't even breathe. It was so bad. We found one of the finest doctors in the state of Texas, Dr. Stephen Klayman. We're waiting for him to come back on. Is he back on yet, Rebel?
No.
Okay. Well, that is strange. We're going to be talking about back pain today. And if you've got a business, if you're an attorney or a doctor, somebody in the health business, if you're in the financial world or home improvement, and you would like to have your own show on Ask the Experts, we've been airing for 12 years, and our experts have the most incredible success with the show. You can give us a call at 954-336-3767, 954-336-3767.
Sorry to interrupt, Steve. I believe the doctor's with us now.
Oh, okay. We're waiting for Dr. Stephen Klayman to come on. There he is. Good morning, Dr. Klayman. Oh, looks like he's frozen now. Good morning, Dr. Klayman.
And he left us.
Well, I got to tell you, we do all of our shows live. And even if you're watching Fox or CNN, their screens freeze all the time. Here he is. He's back with us.
Good morning, there we go.
Klayman.
Hello, Steve.
You're live right now.
All right, very good.
So I was just telling people, if they've ever suffered from back pain, it is the worst experience. I myself had suffered from low back pain. You can't breathe. You're all bent over. And Dr. Klayman is one of the top doctors when it comes to back pain. And we're going to be talking about other areas of pain along with
Well, while the fire alarm goes off, we're going to be talking about not only back pain, but other things that Dr. Klayman can help us with. So, welcome to the show, Dr. Klayman. How would you like to start? We can't hear you. You're muted. How's that fire alarm going, Steve-O? Well, this is quite interesting. We got a fire alarm going off, and doctor, we can't hear you. I can see you, but unfortunately, I cannot hear you. So there's a technical difficulty there. No, we're still not able to hear you. I'm gonna see if I can get Steve-O after that fire alarm to find out what's going on. Yes, unfortunately, there's some gremlins going on with us here. I don't know how to walk you through the sound issue, doctor. In the very first room, were you able to hear your microphone or see your microphone? You were? That is the oddest thing here. So, we would like to, is that fire alarm almost done, Steve-O? Is there cause for concern, actually? Is this one of those test the fire alarms, or is there a,
This is okay. The alarm just went off. We've had trouble getting Dr. Clayman on. Can we hear him now?
No. That might be a cause for concern. If that alarm keeps going off, there might actually be a fire in the building. Wow, this, ladies and gentlemen, is life.
Is Dr. Clayman muted?
Not on my end, and it doesn't say it is on his end.
Why can't we hear him?
I am not 100% positive about the device that he is on how to say to fix it. The best thing I can say is back out again and come back.
You know what? We're going to bring Dr. Clayman. Can you hear me? Okay.
He can hear us.
This is amazing. This is the first show, but this never happens, ever happens. We're going to bring Dr. Clayman on, and hopefully it's going to be within the next week. I want to there's so much to talk about here. We've got to figure out what's going on with his iPad. We've never had this problem in 12 years, but of course, everything's going wrong today. Fire alarms are going off. But Dr. Clayman, I want people to know that when it comes to back pain, there is relief out there. And I'm going to we've got Dr. Clayman's phone number on there, but his number is 512-301-7746. That's 512-301-7746. Is that correct, Dr. Lehman? Okay. It's May at the very beginning of the show, we could hear you fine. And that's surprising, but not to worry. We're going to bring you back on, Dr. Clayman. We're going to set up a time because this is such an important show. And if you're in the Austin area, listen,
it says people
I understand what you're.
Now we can hear you.
Oh, now we can hear you.
Okay, we're back on.
What did you touch?
It says everyone in the show can see and hear you, but okay. Why don't we just start?
Yeah, now you know what, Dr. Clayman, we're going to have to do the show over. We've only got less than 10 minutes, but tell people about your practice.
Well, there's a lot of people come to me who are slated for back surgery. They've received a positive MRI, and it means they have a bulging disc in their low back. If we examined 100 people in the street who have no back pain, we'd find about 1/3 of them have bulging discs. So what that means is people who have bulging discs, that's not necessarily the cause of their back pain. So sometimes the surgery is unnecessary, and that's why there's a CPT code called failed low back surgery syndrome. So frequently what we find is when the discs do deteriorate and get narrower, people get shorter, right?
Yes.
When that happens, the backs of the vertebrae, called the facets, can jam up into the nerve root and imitate a bulging disc. So frequently the bulging disc is not causing the back pain. Matter of fact, in the last 15 years, we've only had 2 or 3 patients actually need the surgery out of hundreds who were diagnosed with bulging discs on MRI.
Why is it always the lower back?
Well, that takes a lot of wear and tear because we sit a lot, so we compress those discs. Like right now, you're compressing the discs in the low back. So they're wearing out earlier. People who particularly have those types of problems are people who sit a lot, computer people, truck drivers. But let me see if I can show you what it looks like in the low back and what these things that we call facets are. Facets are the prongs that come off the lumbar spine. If you can see these prongs here, you see those?
Yes.
When the discs get narrow, those prongs glide up and they go into the nerve root, imitating a bulging disc. So the way we know that the disc is not the cause of the back pain is if there is no pain on coughing, laughing, sneezing, or straining at the stool. If those procedures do not increase and create sharp back pain, more than likely the disc is not the cause of the pain.
Wow. How do you
So what we do in the
that?
office is we traction those vertebrae out. We pull them apart. People have heard of distraction or decompression. That's a great way to pull the facets down and take the pressure off the nerve roots, and then frequently the pain goes away. And it's cheap, it's usually pretty fast, and certainly there's no rehabilitation process of weeks after surgery. So it's a great solution.
Right. You know, you and I talked about this, that I have known, Dr. Clayman, so many people who've had back surgery who are worse off after the surgery.
This is true. So can we answer Charles' question?
Yes.
I see Charles Lanterman has a question. How does he know if there's a disc issue? The answer is, do you get sharp pain when you cough and sneeze or laugh or strain at the stool? If you don't get sharp pain with that, probably the disc is not causing the problem. Probably it's the facets, or it may be the vertebrae twisted out of place.
You know, you're gonna be with us every month, and one of the things I also know that you deal with allergies as well.
Quite a lot, yes.
And in Austin, allergies are a major problem.
Yes, big time.
Okay, it looks like Charles has got another question. When moving around in bed or at times walking?
Okay, so that doesn't tell us whether he has a disc issue or not. What tells us whether he has a disc issue is pain on coughing, sneezing, laughing, or straining. If those are not positive, then more than likely the disc is not causing the pain. It's either the vertebrae misaligned or the facets jamming. Those are 2 probabilities, and a couple of simple orthopedic tests would give us the answer.
Does this show up on X-rays also, Dr.?
Yes. You'll see narrowing of the disc, but you have to do an MRI to see if the disc is bulging. And even if the disc is bulging, you can't tell if that's what's pressing on the nerve root. The biggest answer to that question is what we call Valsalva's maneuver, or pain on coughing, sneezing, laughing, and straining. Yeah, we can fix that in the office. We do that all the time. That's why we're here.
And you know what? I can't tell you how many times I used to sneeze and my back would go out.
Yeah, that can produce a problem.
And it's so painful too.
As you get older, the discs narrow. It's natural. That's why people get shorter. It doesn't necessarily mean that the disc is pressing on the nerve root and causing back pain or sciatic pain. So it's important to make the distinction.
Dr. Clayman, I got to tell you, your field, chiropractic, is so amazing. The things that you do now, say compared to 20 or 30 years ago, you are so far ahead of the curve.
Yeah, well, the idea is to relieve people's suffering and do it as quickly and as painlessly as possible. There may be not a lot of money in it because there's a lot of money in surgery. So there's a tendency to want to do that, but frequently we don't have to.
So, where are you located at?
We're located in Dripping Springs, between Oak Hill and Dripping Springs, just outside of Austin.
Oh, we just got our first text now. Great show. I was one of the people who wrote about adding a show on back pain. Do you deal in auto accident injuries?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, caller. Now, when it comes to back pain, and we've only got a few minutes left, but I promise everybody we're going to make up this show hopefully early next month. Next month is almost here. Back pain is so important. Dr. Clayman, there's so many people who have been living with back pain.
Steve, let me interject something at this moment. People get pain in the sacroiliac joint. The sacroiliac joint is about 1.5 to 2 inches off the midline in your butt.
Okay,
so
yes.
We call it pain in the ass.
Okay.
If you have a pain in the ass, we could fix it. And a lot of times it's just because the hips got misaligned. And when the hips get misaligned, that the ligaments that hold those two joints together on either side of your butt, the ligaments get pulled and strained. And so they hurt. So we invented a device that people can do at home to realign their hips. And this is what it looks like. This is called the hip balancer. And all you have to do is lay on it for 10 seconds with proper instructions, knowing which is the short leg, and the hips will go back into place. The problem in the chiropractic office is you have to do it 3 times a week, sometimes for months, to get it to stay, unless you have that device. With that device, you could do that at home, and you lay on it 10 seconds, 2 or 3 times a day, and the hips will go back into place. You put a little ice on the sacroiliac joint, and that's the end of the problem. And it's simple, it's cheap.
We've been running Dr. Clayman's phone number at the bottom of the screen. For those listening on radio and podcasts, Dr. Clayman, how do they reach you?
Just call my number, and if you want to make an appointment, come on in. The most important thing about using that device is having knowledge of which is the shorter leg. If the hip gets knocked out of position, one of the legs is going to become shorter. It's not really shorter, it's just appears shorter because the hip has pulled the leg up. So once you know which is the short leg, and any chiropractor can show you how to do that, or I'll show you how to do that in the office, then you lay on the device and you see the leg length balances out immediately. And sometimes the pain goes away very quickly.
Well, I'm so sorry to our audience about the short version, but again, Dr. Clayman's going to be back with us next week. We appreciate all the people who text us already for the first show, thanking us for bringing a show like this, back pain. And we will see Dr. Clayman again next month on Ask the Experts. Thank you, Dr. Clayman.
All right, Steve, thank you.
That's Dr. Stephen Clayman. We are so sorry about this. Was one of those shows that just everything went wrong that could possibly go wrong. We'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Everybody have a good week. See you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.